The lunchtime crowd at Maple Grill Diner was buzzing, clinking plates, sizzling bacon, laughter from corner booths. It was just another chilly afternoon in Calgary, until everything stopped. The sound that froze the room wasn't the bell from the kitchen. It was a customer's voice, loud, arrogant, and cruel. "Hey! Is that a napkin on your head or what?" Every head turned toward Aisha Malik, a young waitress in her early 20s. She wore her hijab neatly, her name tag glinting under the diner's yellow lights. Her smile faltered as the middle-aged man at table 5 smirked, clearly proud of himself. Aisha blinked, trying to stay calm. "It's called a hijab, sir," she said quietly. "Can I take your order?" He leaned back in his chair, sneering. "Order? I'm just wondering how you can even hear me through that thing. You sure you're not hiding earbuds under there?" The people in the next booth giggled. A few looked away, embarrassed, but no one said a word. Aisha forced a smile, though her hands trembled as she held her notepad. "Would you like the lunch special, sir?" "Yeah," he said, leaning forward, his voice dripping with mockery. "How about a burger and fries? No halal nonsense, okay?" That was it. The room went silent. You could hear the hiss of the fryer from the kitchen. Aisha's eyes stung, but she refused to cry. She simply nodded and turned away, holding her breath as she walked behind the counter. Behind the counter, Mia, her coworker, whispered, "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," Aisha said, her voice trembling. "It happens all the time." But then, from across the diner, a voice thundered. "What did you just say to her?" The man froze. It was Tom Bennett, the diner's manager, a former chef with a calm face but eyes that burned with quiet authority. He had stepped out from the kitchen, apron still on, his hands trembling, not from fear, but anger. The entire diner fell silent. The rude customer shifted in his seat. Whoa, relax. It was just a joke." "She's..." "Stop," Tom said firmly, walking toward him. "Don't say another word." He turned to Aisha, who stood frozen by the counter. "Go to the back, Aisha," he said softly. "Take a break." She hesitated, her eyes full of worry. "It's okay, I can handle." "No," Tom said, his voice steady but sharp. "You've handled enough." The man laughed nervously. "Man, you can't be serious. It was just a joke. She needs to lighten up." Tom leaned forward, his face inches from the man's. "You think humiliating someone for their faith is funny? You're done here." The customer frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means," Tom said, pointing to the door, "you're not welcome in this diner again." Gasps filled the room. A few customers clapped softly. The man stood up, red-faced. "You can't do that." "Watch me," Tom said, and stormed out. Tom turned to the shocked diners and said something that would soon be recorded, posted online, and shared across Canada, something that would break the internet. But what he said would change everything. For a few seconds, the diner stayed frozen in silence. Everyone was staring at Tom, the manager, who stood tall in the middle of the room, apron on, spatula still in hand, heart pounding in his chest. Aisha stood near the kitchen door, watching him with wide eyes. She didn't know whether to feel grateful or terrified. Tom turned toward the diners and said, clearly and slowly, "In this diner, everyone gets served with respect, no matter their race, faith, or background. If you can't handle that, you don't belong here." A quiet murmur rippled across the room. Then someone, a teenager at a corner table, pulled out his phone. He whispered to his friend, "Dude, this is going on TikTok." But Tom didn't know. He wasn't trying to go viral. He was just done watching good people be humiliated. Mantelpiece clock the next morning. When Aisha came into work the next day, her phone was buzzing non-stop. Her cousin had texted her a link. "Isn't this your diner?" She clicked it, and froze. It was the video from yesterday. Tom's voice echoed from the screen. "In this diner, everyone gets served with respect, no matter their race, faith, or background." The video had been shared over 2.3 million times overnight. Hashtag respect in Calgary. Hashtag hijab hero. And hashtag Tom the manager were trending on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. Hundreds of people flooded the diner that morning, not for the food, but to meet the manager who had stood up for a waitress wearing her hijab. Hot beverage back at the diner. Tom was behind the counter when a woman approached him. She looked like she was in her 50s, clutching a coffee cup. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "My daughter wears a hijab," she said. "She saw your video last night. She told me it's the first time she's seen someone stand up for someone like her." Tom blinked, unsure what to say. "I just did what was right." Aisha smiled quietly from behind the counter. "You did video more than camera that." Later that day, a local news reporter from CBC Calgary showed up, camera crew and all. "Tom, did you expect your reaction to go viral?" she asked. He laughed nervously. "I didn't even know someone was recording. I just wanted her to feel safe here." Aisha stood beside him. "I've worked here for 6 months," she said softly. "People stare sometimes. But yesterday, someone finally said something." Speech balloon the twist. Just when everyone thought the story had ended, a new video surfaced online. The same rude customer who mocked Aisha posted a shaky, self-recorded clip. His eyes were red, his voice breaking. "I messed up," he said. "I didn't realize how cruel I sounded until I saw the video. I reached out to the diner. Tom accepted my apology. I want to say sorry, to Aisha, and to anyone I hurt." The comment section exploded with forgiveness and praise. People called it Canada's classiest comeback. Sunrise final scene. That evening, the diner was busier than ever. Aisha placed a fresh pot of coffee on Tom's desk. "You know," she said, smiling, "you kind of broke the internet." Tom laughed. "Good. Maybe it needed breaking." And for the first time in a long time, Aisha felt what every person deserves: dignity, respect, and belonging.